What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Hey! Welcome into episode 157, everybody. I am your host, SleezBall. Today's episode is going to be my tight end week 12 start-em, sit-em for every single matchup, and it is BYEMAGEDDON, guys. You have 6 teams that are out this week, so we need to sift through all the riffraff and figure out which tight ends are going to be good to start this week. You have the New York Jets out with Tyler Conklin, Atlanta Falcons with Kyle Pitts, Buffalo Bills with Dalton Kincaid, Bengals with Gesicki, Jaguars with Evan Ingram, and the Saints with Taysom Hill. It is a nightmare week in fantasy football. Before we dive into it, guys, make sure you smash that thumbs up, hit that subscription button. It helps me out a ton. Also, turn that bell on. I will be live Thursday to Monday. Different shows, different content creators covering everything fantasy football. And if you cannot make the live show, you can always drop any comment you want down below. One of my goals as a content creator to help you guys out is to answer every single one of them, to get you that weekly win and get you that ultimate goal of a championship. And we are close to the playoffs, guys. It is grind time. Every win matters. And let's dive into these tight ends here for week 12. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my tight end start-em, sit-em board for week 12 here. The top black box is always the away team. The bottom box is always the home team. And before we dive into this Thursday night football game, Browns versus Steelers, the weather looks absolutely terrible for this game. We'll get to that when I get there. I like to throw a shout out to the co-host of my show. Does great work behind the scenes. I have both of his links tagged in the description. Take 1 second, support the fam, drop a follow, smash a sub. He does live shows, tons of gambling stuff. Always gamble responsibly. Has great pick-ems. My guy's been hitting all year long. I've won tons of money off him. If you followed him, you would too. So what we're going to look at here, and this is his Twitter right here. So either right now you can get your phone out, take a screenshot. You can always follow his Twitter. Click one button. You can see all this information for free. This is going to be the tight ends for week 12 with the most advantageous matchup. So these are the top 10 defenses that give up the most touchdowns to the tight end position. Obviously, at the top, the Denver Broncos don't even have a tight end, so nothing really to look at there. Travis Kelce, Laporta is back out there, healthy, practice fully today. Good sign there. So take a screenshot here on your PC, camera, whatever you want. Follow his Twitter, support my guy. This is what you need to know for tight ends here, and it's great for DFS and Pick-Ems as well. This is also going to be another tweet from him. This is his tight end, Big Draft Energy, at Big Draft Headquarters on Twitter. Forgot to throw that out there. Tight ends with the most advantageous matchups for receiving yards. Jatavion Sanders and the Chiefs. I'm starting Jatavion Sanders in my monster 14-man fantasy football league this week. Theo Johnson out there as well. Tampa Bay, Denver again with a great matchup, but they don't use a tight end. Will Dissly back on the board as well. That's why I like him a lot this week too. So that's all the information he dropped on Twitter. If you guys want to check out his page, it's all in the description. Support the fam. Smash a like, smash a follow, smash subscribe to his YouTube channel. Helps me out a ton. Helps him out a ton too. Does amazing work. Now, heading into this Thursday night game here. I mean, from the weather updates that I've seen right now for this game. So I've even tweeted out to people that live in Cleveland right now to ask them how it's going to be. I've had a couple people respond saying it's going to be 40 degrees, rain and snow possibility, and 20 to 30 mile an hour winds. So that is really going to affect how I'm going to look at this game here. So obviously, when I'm looking at the Steelers side here, Pat Frymouth, I wasn't going to start him either way with the weather or not. The Cleveland Browns are a top 7 team versus the tight end. No, so, wrong. I got to pull up my other chart. Cleveland Browns are number 8 versus the tight end. They only allow 9.7 points, number 8 in the red zones, and they allow 43.1 yards, which is top 10 as well. So they're top 10 defense across the board versus the tight end. And in a bad weather game here, you would expect there to be more of a run show here. Now, on the Brown side, I'm still not going to bench David Njoku. This man is seeing too much volume. He's too big of an athletic specimen and too big of a target for Jameis Winston since he's become the starting quarterback. And even if I'm looking at the Steelers defense, this is one of the best defenses in football, but this is their only weak spot is the tight end position. And if it's even a weak spot, they rank 18th. That's the worst ranking they have in any position there is. They give up 11.3 points. They're 19th in the red zone, 45.8 yards, and about a 30% chance of a touchdown every single game. But I don't look at the red zone like that ever affects David Njoku. This guy's 6'5", I would say like 270, 260. They say 250, but he looks so big out there. He's a matchup nightmare. I don't look at red zone like it ever affects him. Sunday night football matchup. We got the Philadelphia Eagles heading into the Los Angeles Rams, and this is going to be a big game for the Rams. Every game for the NFC West right now matters the most. They're 5-5. Niners are 5-5. Seattle's 5-5. Arizona's 6-4. and Seattle and Arizona is going to play each other. So this is going to be a monster game for every team in the NFC West this week. And they're all tough matchups. But in this game, Dallas Goedert, you better be smashing this guy as a start. Back-to-back 10-point games. And what happened last week versus the Rams? Jonnu Smith was tight end 1. Absolutely destroyed them. The Los Angeles Rams ranked 26th versus the tight end, giving up 14.6 points per game. 20th in the red zone, 62.3 yards they allow, which is 4th worst in the NFL, and a 40% chance of a touchdown. And I have this game as a shootout. They have it at 48.5. Obviously, they think it's going to be high scoring as well. I think it's higher than that. I would take the over. And I know the Eagles' defense is great in every single way. I just feel like this is going to be one of those monster shootout games, and it's Rams are in a do-or-die must. Well, not really a must-win, but it'd be a big win for them to get. On to the Rams side, I know Colby Parkinson got a random touchdown last week. You could throw Allen up here as well. I'm not starting him. I'm not starting Higbee. The Philadelphia Eagles are number 6 versus the tight end. They give up 9.5, number 13 in the red zone. So about a top 8 to 9 defense all the way around. 41.8 yards allowed, which is top 10. And Quinyon Mitchell has even been a lockdown on the wide receiver ones. So I'm even kind of nervous for Puka Nacua. If you watch my wide receiver video, the last video I dropped, I think this is going to be a Cooper Kupp, Kyren Williams show in this game. And remember, I'm taking the Rams to upset the Eagles in this game. Dallas Cowboys, whose season is completely over, are headed in to face the 7-4 Washington Commanders. And this one you kind of got to pay attention to here. So Jake Ferguson goes out last week early in the game, first quarter with a concussion. Now, players have cleared the concussion protocol, right, in a week. And I've said that they wouldn't, so I'm not going to ride that train again or take any more of that heat. I'm going to say that they can pass it in a week. Now, with the Cowboys season pretty much over, would they risk throwing Jake Ferguson out there? I don't know. It depends. But if Luke Shoemaker is out there and Jake Ferguson does not play this game, this guy saw 10 targets from Cooper Rush last week. I know it was garbage time, which is what the Cowboys are probably going to be playing in for the rest of the season. So pay attention to the injury updates on Jake Ferguson. If Luke Shoemaker is available, I would say he's a startable tight end after the volume they saw last week. The Washington Commanders ranked 16th versus the tight end, giving up 10.8, 24th in the red zone, so high touchdown upside there. Only 39.5 yards allowed, which is, top 10 there, so that's a good defense in yardage, but they allow a 50% chance of a touchdown as well. So, I mean, they're not going to be able to run the ball anymore in Dallas, pretty much. That's shot, so it's pretty much all passing attack. So, again, if Ferguson is out, I do like Shoemaker as a start also. Onto the Zach Ertz side. Bit me last week. Let's see if he can bite me again. So I have him on a sit this week. I feel like this is going to be a pound the run game here against the Cowboys. I don't think they're going to need to pass much. I think Jaden Daniels is going to use a lot of his legs with the pressure that comes from the Cowboys D-line. And when I look at the Cowboys defense versus the tight end, they rank 11th. They only give up 10 points. They do rank 25th in the red zone, so there's a high touchdown upside. 42.5 yards allowed and a 50% chance of a touchdown every single game. And I know he got the revenge game, garbage time TD against Philly last week. I do think the Commanders roll the Cowboys in this game. That's why I'm sitting Zach Ertz and saying the volume's not going to be there for him in this game. The Houston Texans at 7-4 are going to be hosting the Tennessee Titans. And if we want to throw Chigakonkwo up here, some of these I'm just going to rail through fast because you're not starting Chigakonkwo. I don't think anyone's ever started him all year long. But I will give you that the Houston Texans versus the tight end position on the season right now are number 3. They only allow 8.7 points. They're 23rd in the red zone, 32 yards, top 5 there, and a 40% chance of a touchdown. I know Will Levis has been playing better, and the Texans' strength is the run game. I'm still not going to throw out Chigakonkwo. Dalton Schultz side. I've stayed away from this guy all year long for a reason here. Dalton Schultz, I mean, I know he's a good tight end. I know they paid him a contract. I know all of the things, but there's just too many weapons out there. He does not focus on his tight end. And if you look at Dalton Schultz's season, he has 0 touchdowns on the season, and he's never cracked 10 points in fantasy football in the year, which is bonkers. And you're getting a matchup versus the Tennessee Titans, who are number 7 versus the tight end, 16th in the red zone, 38.8 yards allowed, and a 20% chance of a touchdown. I do not like Dalton Schultz or Chigakonkwo in this game. Well, the 5-6 Colts are hosting the 9-1 Detroit Lions, and guys, if Sam Laporta, so we just saw the update that he practiced healthy, he's my tight end 3 on the week. And I know he's been a disappointment roller coaster ride all year long. But what you have to look at here is the game against the Houston Texans, right? Who are a top 3 team versus the tight end before his injury. He already had 16.66 yards and a TD. Now you're getting the fantasy football pot of gold in the Indianapolis Colts. I have 3 teams that are a pot of gold. They are one of them. They can't stop anything. So versus the tight end, they give up 15 points a game. That ranks 28th. 31st in the red zone, second worst. 56.5 yards, bottom 10 they give up, and a 50% chance of a touchdown. And Dan Campbell just sent a message that we don't care if we're up 30. We're going to keep putting the pedal to the metal. And they absolutely throttled the Jaguars with their starters up 30. So Sam Laporta is an absolute smash tight end for me this week. On to the Colts side, do we really need to talk about them? I don't even think they've had a tight end since Dallas Clark. Quick red there. All systems green, baby. The 3-8 New England Patriots are heading in to face the Miami Dolphins, who are trying to save their playoff hopes right now, getting the big win last week. And they're 4-6. They got to get this win to get back in the playoff hunt. And this is going to be a game where I love Hunter Henry in this game. Now, when you're looking at the Miami Dolphins defense versus the tight end, they rank 22nd. They give up 12 points. They do have a good front seven, so they stingy up in the red zone. They rank 7th there. 51.7 yards, about middle of the pack they give up, and a 20% chance of a touchdown. But Hunter Henry has just been the safe floor tight end play, Drake May's security blanket, and just look at his points. I mean, this guy's in the past since week 6, right? 13, 17, 10, 12. One bad game for Chicago, one of the best defenses. That's a given. LA Rams last week, 9 targets, 12.3 points. He's going to be a startable tight end every single week. It does not matter who they're playing against to me. When in a position where everyone struggles at tight end, this is a guy who's going to see volume. That's why they paid him $30 million. Get him out there into your lineup. Now, Miami Dolphins side. If you subscribe to my channel, I want you to comment in the comments, when did I start talking about Jonnu Smith and starting to pay attention to him? Week 1. This guy is now seeing 80+% snaps. He's now part of the offense. He's learning the Mike McDaniel system, which is a very hard system with all the motions and everything they do, like the LA Rams, like McVay. And now you're seeing it come to fruition with tight end 1 performance last week, tight end 1 performance against the Colts, which I absolutely called that one. That was a crazy one. Now you get the New England Patriots. And this is a revenge game for him. You don't think they're going to feed this guy on a revenge game? I wouldn't care if they were number 1 versus the tight end. Revenge games are always something to look at in fantasy football. So the Patriots are 14th versus the tight end, giving up 10.7, 22nd in the red zone. So the high touchdown upside there. 45.3 yards they allow, which is top 15, and a 40% chance of a touchdown. And I'm calling it now that Jonnu Smith is going to get in the end zone again. And I love both these tight ends as a start this week. Oh, man, my 49ers need a big win at Lambeau Field this week. And when I'm looking at this game, George Kittle just practiced today. This is Purdy's go-to guy. If you have George Kittle with all the buys that are happening this week, you're starting Kittle, diddle, down the middle. He's going to score a touchdown. This is the Green Bay Packers' weak spot of their defense, guys. They rank 23rd versus the tight end, giving up 12.7. They rank 18th in the red zone. They give up 55 yards, which is bottom 15, and a 30% chance of a touchdown. And, God, we got to get this win, man. And when I look at the Green Bay Packers side, dude, Tucker Kraft burned me hard last week. I'm not one of those content creators or fantasy football players that sits a guy because one bad game. I just don't like the matchup versus the 49ers. You're going up against Fred Warner, the best middle linebacker of football, the smartest player on the football field right now you can get on defense. His mind is an absolute weapon, pun intended. And they rank 5th versus the tight end. They give up 9.4. They rank 11th in the red zone, so about a top 6 to 7 defense versus the tight end. 35 yards allowed, which is top 5, and a 20% chance of a touchdown. Being a 49er fan, I know we get beat in chunk plays by the wide receivers, not by tight ends. I know Trey McBride had a day against us, but that's Trey McBride. I don't put Tucker Kraft on his level. So I'm sitting Tucker Kraft, and Luke Musgrave is an afterthought at this point, and George Kittle could be tight end 1. Big NFC West division rivalry. Honestly, I need the Seattle Seahawks to win as a 49er fan here. But when I'm looking at this game here, they have this at 47.5. I think that's way too low. I think this game is going to be way over that scoring. And the Seattle Seahawks versus the tight end, I try to tell you guys all year long, this defense was fraudulent since the beginning of the year. They rank 20th. They give up 11.8. You're obviously starting Trey McBride no matter what. This guy's a superstar tight end. And I'm telling you right now, he's going to get his first touchdown of the season. I cannot believe this guy's a top 5 tight end and has no touchdowns. That's how much volume he sees. He's pretty much the wide receiver 1 in Arizona. It's crazy, even though Marvin Harrison is there. Now, they give up the 26th most points in the red zone. Here's your Trey McBride first touchdown opportunity. 50.6 yards and a 30% chance of a touchdown a game. I'm calling it. This is going to be Trey McBride's smash breakout game here. Absolutely bonkers tight end play. On to the Seattle Seahawks side. Noah Fant, I don't even know if he's going to make it back out there. I've seen a couple injury updates. Hasn't practiced. He is older. AJ Barner's looked okay, the rookie from Michigan. I picked him up in a couple dynasty leagues as a taxi spot, beginning of the year. But you're going up against the Arizona Cardinals. Their defense has gotten better, but it's only really gotten better at home for some reason. So they're on the road here, but they do rank 9th versus the tight end, only giving up 10 points, 12th in the red zone, so a top 10 to 11 defense all the way around, 44.6 yards, top 12 there, and a 10% chance of a touchdown. So if you're in desperation is the only way I'm really playing AJ Barner. Don't love it. Don't hate it. Don't really like it at all, though. I'm just going to say this is just BYEMAGEDDON kind of look here for him. If you need a dart throw play, you can throw him out there, but it's not a great matchup. Minnesota Vikings are headed into Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears, who are trying to save their season at 4-6. And it's been really interesting to me here for TJ Hawkinson. So I figured, when he came back week 9, right? He comes back for the Indianapolis Colts, that he'd get a ramp up, he'd get more snaps here and there, and it's just not happening. So TJ Hawkinson, I'm going to put as not a smash start, not a smash sit, but if you need to play him, you can. But he's only seen 45% of snaps, 46% of snaps, 48% of the snaps, hasn't gone up in any single way, shape, or form. And the Chicago Bears defense is a very good defense. If they have any weak spot, it's like the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is their only weak spot, and it's not even as bad as the Steelers. They're number 13 versus the tight end. They only give up 10.5 points to position in total a game. They rank 14th in the red zone, 51.9 yards, which is middle of the pack, and a 10% chance of a touchdown. There's only been one touchdown for a tight end against the Chicago Bears in the season. Do you really want to start that, right? I know it's BYEMAGEDDON week, and TJ Hawkinson's a big name, but I'm saying just temper your expectations here. It's going to be a very, very cold game here as well, and that Bears defense is going to be getting after slow Sam Darnold. On the Bears side, it's going to be a no-go here for me at all for Cole Kmet or Gerald Everett. I shouldn't even have his name up there, but it is. So Cole Kmet is out there playing an amazing amount of snaps. He's like a 90+% tight end, but only saw 3 targets last week. You got Romo Dunze seeing 10, DJ Moore seeing 7, Keenan Allen seeing 8 targets, DeAndre Swift a little banged up right now. Don't know if he's going to be out there and playing. Roshan Johnson seeing work out of the backfield. It's just not enough volume for me to feel like it's a comfortable start. I mean, if you need a dart throw it out there, you can. But the Minnesota Vikings versus the tight end, they're number 12. They give up 10.3. They're number 15 in the red zone, so about a top 13 defense. 44.9 yards they give up, which is top 10. And they give up a 20% chance of a touchdown. So when you got to spread it out all over the place with all these receivers and the running backs out the backfield, Cole Kmet is just going to be left with like 2-3 targets a game, and you're hoping on a touchdown dependent play. That's too rough for me. He's not really being the security blanket I thought he would be for Caleb Williams. And that could be because Shane Waldron and they fired him, and it's kind of shambles right now. And that loss to Green Bay was like demoralizing. They had their new OC come in. They had that game won. And I think it's going to get real rough from here on out for the Bears. This one's going to be quick. The Denver Broncos, who do not have a tight end at all, are headed in to face the Raiders, whose season is absolutely over. But there's one thing So Michael Mayer, I didn't mean to go there. This could be Lucas Kroll, Greg Dulcich, Adam Troutman. They don't use the tight end in Denver. There's absolutely no point to talk about it. Brock Bowers is him. He's going to be the tight end 1, just like Sam Laporta last year as a rookie. He's going to have like 120 receptions he's on pace for. And in this game, you're going to have Patrick Surtain lock up Jacoby Myers. It's going to be all Brock Bowers or probably 20 targets in this game. This is your number 1 tight end for the rest of the way. You're starting him every single week. I don't need to read any stats. I don't care if it's the number 1 team you're going up against. He is an absolute must start every single week. The game we can all not wait for, Monday Night Football. 7-4 Ravens are headed in to face the 7-3 Chargers, and I like a lot from this game, guys. And the over-under's at 50.5, and I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a shootout game that is higher than that. It's going to be like 35-38, 30-33. I just know it. Now, when I'm looking at the Ravens here, Mark Andrews, definitely a must start. I don't care because I think it's a shootout game. The matchup versus the Chargers is not great. They rank 10th. They give up 10.1. They rank 2nd in the red zone. They give up 47 yards, which is top 15. They've allowed 0 touchdowns to the tight end position. But you're in a shootout game here. So Isaiah Likely, I'm even going to say if you need a, BYEMAGEDDON weak tight end, he can be startable. I'm not saying I love it or hate it. That's why it's in yellow. So, if you're in trouble in a, big competitive league, you can throw in Isaiah Likely because I think the points are going to fly in this game. Chargers side. My smash play last week was Will Dissly. Absolutely nailed that. Will Dissly's probably going to be on my smash play again, guys. The Baltimore Ravens versus the Titans ranked 24th. They give up 14 points a game. They have a great front seven, so when you get in the red zone, everything shrinks. They are a very good red zone team versus the Titans. They rank 6th. They give up 66.9 yards to the tight end position, which is third worst in the NFL, and a 20% chance of a touchdown. Give me those odds all day with Herbert, the Will Dissly connection. He's been the 5th most targeted tight end over the past 5 weeks since the Hayden Hurst injury. He's still getting like a 60% snap share, which I wish was up at like the 80s. But they run a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. They get Josh Palmer out there with Quentin Johnston, with Ladd McConkey. So it's kind of a different look there. But I still love Will Dissly this week, and he's going to be on my smash start. And I like Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely as startable tight ends too. All systems green. Interesting game here. The Kansas City Chiefs coming off their first loss where Josh Allen ran it in. Superman, I'm so happy they finally lost. I did not want the Chiefs to go undefeated. Sorry, Chiefs fan. This is from a Niner fan, man. It's rough to talk about the Chiefs as a Niner fan. Now, Travis Kelce, obviously you're starting this guy no matter what every single week. The matchup is absolutely great. The Carolina Panthers are 27th versus the tight end. They give up 14.7. They rank dead last in the red zone. They give up 56.6 yards, bottom 10 there, and a 70% chance of a touchdown, which is the highest rate in the NFL. And he's coming off a bad game. So you know Patrick Mahomes is going to try to get him more involved here. And what's the only downfall I kind of have is how does this game script go? Because Carolina is so bad versus the run. Every team just destroys them. They're like one of the worst rushing defenses in like the past decade. So if this game gets out of hand, you could probably see Kareem Hunt just close this out. I really don't think Isaiah Pacheco is going to make it out there this week. There's no need for him to play against the Panthers. Now, my sleeper play of the week is Ja'Tavion Sanders. And yes, I am starting him in my very big, very expensive, very competitive fantasy football league this week. Why? Here's why. Not only the fact that he's been more involved the past 2 weeks, learning the system of Canales. And it was kind of scary for me at first because Dave Canales last year, offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, had Kate Otten running wind sprints, 98%, the most used tight end last year, route, snaps, everything, and did nothing. Now you see Ja'Tavion Sanders out there, 85, 88%. He's starting to get his tight ends more involved. Now, could Adam Thielen being out there hurt his targets a little bit? Possibly, but they're going to be playing from behind for the rest of the season. I loved him coming out of Texas as a rookie. And you get the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 30th versus the tight end. They give up 16 points a game. They're 10th in the red zone because their front seven is very good. This is why you stay away from Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Brooks this week, because Kansas City's number one run D. And they give up 74.3 yards, which is NFL worst to the tight end position, with a 30% chance of a touchdown. That's why I have Ja'Tavion Sanders ranked in my top 12. It's the highest I've ever ranked him. And I really, really like him this week versus the Chiefs. And I think he's going to find another touchdown. He got his first NFL touchdown last week versus the Giants. And I'm going to call out right now that he's going back-to-back and pops another one in here this week in garbage time. The 4-6 Bucks are fresh off the bye, and K. Otten is absolutely destroying fantasy football for the past 4 weeks with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans out. So let's go past since week 4. I mean, he's at 11 points, 7 points, 10 points, 18, 30, 21, and 9. In the past 4 weeks, he's averaging 10 targets a game. He's averaging 70 yards receiving over that, and he's had 4 touchdowns in his past 6 games. Now, of course, Mike Evans coming back, that'll hurt his target share a little bit, but still, that's going to draw more attention to Mike Evans across the middle. K-Dot is still going to be startable tight end for the rest of the year, guys. Do not panic because Mike Evans is back. This is still going to be a great start. And when you're going up against the New York Giants versus the tight end right now, they are currently, as I'm trying to find them on my chart here, of course I skip over it. This is the last video. Oh, Jesus, that's why. The New York Giants are number 1 versus the tight end. They give up 7.6 points. I honestly didn't even know that until we just looked at it. Number 3 in the red zone, 33.2 yards, which is the second best in the NFL in yardage, and a 10% chance of a touchdown. But when you have to worry about Mike Evans, Rachaad White, Bucky out the backfield, they run 2 splits. You're going to have Jalen McMillan bat, Sterling Shepard, his Oklahoma boy with Baker Mayfield. I'm still starting Kate Otten. The volume is too good. I don't care about the matchup. They need to get this win to get back in the playoff hunt. Now, when I'm looking at the Giants side, Theo Johnson, I've had him in yellow just like I did Jonnu Smith all year long because I've been waiting for the Penn State rookie breakout to happen. Now, I know Tommy DeVito is now your quarterback, and honestly, I should look into how much he targets his tight ends. I haven't done that. But when I'm looking at Theo Johnson, And you're going to have everyone out there, right? You're going to have neighbors. You're going to have, I guess Slayton might make it out of injury. I haven't seen his update, check his injury update. But what you've noticed here is, and this is Danny Dimes. So this is like hard to, flip over to Tommy DeVito. He's starting to get 97% of the snaps, guys. 92, 95% of the snaps. He's out there all the time. 6 targets in back-to-back games, averaging 10 or 11 points in the past 2 games. And you get a bye, so he gets to work a little bit with Tommy DeVito, right? And the matchup they get is great. So if you need a dart throw tight end play, Theo Johnson is not a bad one here, guys. They rank 29th. They give up 15.4. They rank 21st in the red zone. They give up 68.4 yards, which is second worst in the NFL, and a 50% chance of a touchdown. Now, looking at those numbers with Danny Dimes, it is different, or Danny Dumps. I think his career is over. I mean, I've been calling for him to lose his job since like week 3. But Tommy DeVito, it wasn't a bad quarterback last year. He's not amazing, but we'll see how it goes. If you need a dart play throw here, I love this matchup with Theo Johnson. Bang! Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. I told you I would get all my stardoms out this week, man. Last week, I'm sorry about it. Life just got in the way. But now you have all my rankings, all my stardom sit-ems for every single position. Everything is out before the Thursday night kickoff. Tomorrow, we will be live going over Scott Fishbowl Playoff, which if you don't know about, probably not going to tune into the video. But it's one of the most interesting, biggest fantasy football leagues there is. There's 50,000 people. And me and my co-host, or not co-host, my buddy that will be joining me, Michael Wright, we made the top 1,000 in the playoffs. So we're going to break down different ways to look at fantasy football and how weird the scoring is and how awesome these playoffs are going to be coming up, because the playoffs start next week for us. And then I'll be live Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I might even be live playing some Fortnite tonight. If you guys want to hop in, let me know. And that's it for me, guys. Make sure you smash that like, smash that subscription, turn that bell on. I'm absolutely exhausted. Got everything out for you guys, all the support. I cannot thank you guys enough. It has been absolutely amazing. And I'll probably be on a little gaming here a little later, going to hang out with the wife. So if you guys want to tune in, I'll catch you in there. If not, I'll catch you in the next video. SleezBall out.